Hello and welcome to the Jank Bank. My name is Brad and I'll be your host as we explore fun, unusual, and unique commander decks that can still hold their own and win games. As a quick disclaimer, these decks are tuned to my own personal budget and meta, so feel free to make changes as necessary. The commander for today's deck is Athreos Shroud Veiled, an indestructible 4/7 god for 4 white-black. However, if our devotion to white and black is less than 7, Athreos isn't a creature. With Athreos in play, at the beginning of our end step, we put a coin counter on another target creature. Then, when a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is exiled, we return it to the battlefield under our control. Athreos is a very interesting commander, and one that can be built in a myriad of ways. For this deck, though, we're going to be focusing on enter the battlefield effects, death triggers, and abilities that let us slow our opponents down while we get it all set up. Let's start things off with some of our ETB effects. Gonti, Lord of Luxury, is going to let us use our opponent's cards against them. Sun Titan lightens the load on Athreos by bringing back our permanents with CMC 3 or less. And Gary can drain our opponents for a massive chunk of their life total. Combining this ability with Athreos can close out a game very quickly. Moving on to our death triggers, we have some classic aristocrat staples. Cards like Pitiless Plunderer and Zulaport Cutthroat. Athreos only gives us a single coin per turn rotation, so we really want to generate as much value off of it as possible. Taste of Karlov gives us a ton of value by doubling up our death triggers. This turns already massive threats like Kukasho the Evening Star and Yosei the Morning Star into full-blown win conditions. Before we move on to our taxing abilities, I do want to talk about Yahini Undying Partisan, Viscera Seer, and Woe Strider. These cards are important to the deck because we want to take advantage of our abilities at instant speed and protect our combos. For example, in response to Athreos being targeted with something that exiles a creature, we can sacrifice other creatures in order to drop our devotion and avoid that removal. So finally we have our taxing abilities. These are going to be cards that slow our opponents down and force them to reconsider targeting us. Draining abilities like Kambal, Console of Allocation, and Pontiff of Blight can quickly put our opponents at a very precarious life total. We also have cards like Blind Obedience to put the brakes on aggro decks while we set up for the win. Now that we've been through the deck, let's go down to the battlefield of Jank to see it in action. Basically, what we're looking to do here is fulfill a basic formula. Sack Outlet plus ETB or Death Trigger plus Athreos equals profit. Once this is locked in, we can trigger that ability once per turn cycle, and using Kakusho as an example, this is going to drain our opponents for a collective 15 life each turn cycle. Now, if we really want to lose some friends, we can mix in Teysa and Yosei. This is going to allow us to skip 2 players on tap steps and tap down 5 of their permanents each. If we time this right, we can lock those players out of the game completely. And that's going to do it for today's deck. The full deck list is in the description, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, so please let me know in the comments below, or in our Discord server, also in the description. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest episodes. The Jank Bank is brought to you entirely by the incredible generosity of our patrons. If you'd like to join them in supporting the channel, click the link in the description below. And with that, we bring the show to a close. See you next time, and stay janky.